Overcoming negativity bias. 7 ways to beat negativity bias. There's an old adage about how you can receive 100 compliments, but one negative remark will stick with you in a more profound way than all the compliments. This is a perfect example of negativity bias. Something deeply ingrained in our psyche that can be difficult to overcome. Negativity bias can also be a difficult thing for us to acknowledge because we don't realize we are trapped within it. It's common for us to recall traumatic events and feel the lasting events long after the event is over. It's easier for us to recall a negative experience with someone rather than a positive one. While negativity bias is something natural to humans, it's also something we can overcome. It will take some mental gymnastics to break the habit of being negative. Overcoming negativity bias can also take a bad turn to toxic positivity, which is also detrimental to our happiness. In this video, we've listed 7 healthy ways to overcome negativity bias that can have a profound effect on our mental health. Acknowledge and stop negative thoughts. We are our own worst critics. Our inner monologues are often filled with automatic negative thoughts and self-talk. It's important to acknowledge when that happens by being in tune with yourself, and then finding ways to stop it. When you notice yourself being negative towards yourself, remind yourself how this can be harmful and doesn't help the situation. Instead, consider what the bad situation has taught you about yourself. Try to focus on the silver lining and focus on that. It will take some work, but it's a habit worth forming. Understand how negativity bias plays out in your daily life. Take the time to really pay attention to your daily behaviors and try to pinpoint areas where negativity bias takes over. For example, when you read the news, you may jump to the crime section before reading sports. We are attracted to negative news and bad events over positive ones. In relationships, negativity bias can also wreak havoc. We may focus on the one time our partner forgot to call us back, instead of the time our partner bought us our favorite candy to cheer us up after a bad day. When we see these little patterns of negativity bias, we can make the effort to break the pattern. Talk to yourself. We all do this, and it's not as silly or weird as you might think. As mentioned, we are often very negative towards ourselves out of habit because our brains are wired that way. When you're in the midst of a tough situation that is igniting your negativity bias, talk yourself through it. Try and remove yourself and consider how you would advise a friend if they were in the same situation. We often grant more kindness and compassion to others above ourselves. So using this approach could help us learn to be more kind to ourselves. When we are nicer to ourselves, it's much easier to find the positive aspects of a situation. Document the positive times. Take inventory of the positive things in your life and make an effort to document positive experiences that come. This could include taking more photos or starting a gratitude journal. Journaling your thoughts and experiences is often underestimated for how powerfully it can shift your thinking patterns. Be mindful. Life goes on at such a fast pace that it can be difficult to take a pause and really reflect on what is happening. Giving yourself the grace to be mindful about your situation gives you the opportunity to try and find the positives of the situation. The positives could be something you learned, understanding how to avoid the same situation in the future, or celebrating how you managed to overcome the obstacle. Utilize healthy distractions. You do not want to ignore your thoughts, but sometimes ruminating on bad thoughts to the point where you cannot be rational just happens. In these situations, it can help to have a healthy distraction you can turn to until you're in a better headspace to work through the problem. A healthy distraction could be going for a walk, watching something that makes you smile or laugh, playing with a pet, or chatting with a trusted loved one about something other than the problem. You can revisit the negative experience after and use your other tools to work through it. Consider therapy. If negativity is having a deep effect on your life, it could be beneficial to consider therapy. therapy is not just for those with a diagnosed mental illness. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, focuses on our behaviors that affect our mental health in a negative way, and teaches us how to reframe our thinking and behavioral patterns. It is scientifically proven to be extremely beneficial for a variety of mental illnesses, as well as general negative thought patterns. Final words. Finding a balance between negativity and positivity is a challenge, and it's one that takes patience and effort to defeat. But despite how our brains are wired, they are malleable and can adapt to change and develop new habits easily when they are practiced often. Overcoming negativity bias can teach us new things about ourselves and our resilience. We can find a deeper appreciation for our abilities and strengths while learning from the weaker moments. Bad things will always happen, but we can learn to deal with them in healthier ways to overcome how negativity bias can catastrophize those events.